This is T. Julian Bell of Kromore fame and Pete Petrusha of other fame. Of playtest legend. So we're going to be playing Infected, and this is a one-shot game created by Caleb Harris, who was the winner of my competition for Infected, and this adventure is called Give Me Liberty, set within New York. Well, the ruins of it anyway, 5 years after the outbreak has devastated it, and wars, civil wars and bombings and gassings have absolutely annihilated it and turned it into something more like, well, the post-apocalypse, really. Now there's weeds growing everywhere and rusted old cars and things that still look kind of vaguely normal, but yet it looks a bit more like Fukushima, with strange stores that are just sort of looted and wrecked, and there's stuff still there. Strange enough, mannequins still on display, but you know, vines are slowly starting to crawl out over things, and grass is tufting out of everywhere, and there's rubble that's swept across the streets, and you find that having lived here for some time, your Amagi and Larkin are two characters who have been here for some time, known each other, you get along because you guys get things done. But it's been tough. It's been tough. The real thing that happened, right, is the outbreak occurred over, you know, months and months and months, and it was just slowly just decimating, and then slowly some of them started becoming infected, you know, actually rising and waking, but they weren't actually dead. You see, people would get infected, start sneezing, and then infect everybody else, and then go into a coma, and a large proportion of them would die. But those that didn't die after a couple of weeks would wake, and they were just gone. They were just totally different. They were just the animal. It was as if the virus was continuing to consume them, and the animal just took over, and they had to feed. And covered in boils and pustules and unfeeling, they just struck. And the thing is they have enough cunning, they have enough intelligence to know, like any predator, where the best food is, and to seek actual food rather than just wander into gunfire or to actually die. Years on, gassings and nukes and bombs and wars and civil wars and general apocalypses later, they are mostly wiped out. But still in New York, you know, in the subways, in those dark, dank places where floodings are now very common and so on, that the infected often emerge to hunt down groups of people here and there, ones and twos, drag them back to their lair. And there's just such vast areas where there is nothing except ruin that, you know, anything could be there. Bandits, cannibals, freakish people, strange mutations, who knows, really. Now, as the infected get older, they also become kind of just more disgusting, and they tend to evolve into this larger, bloated things. You guys have the quick start rules, so you probably can see them. Right? Let's see what's the page that they're on. Is on just past your character pages on page 33. You'll see 32 and 33. You'll see the Burster and Shambler. Now they're called Burster for a simple reason that once they get pretty large, they tend to be kind of explosive. They have all these gases built up like the belly of a dead big whale. You pierce that belly and it can engulf you with some pretty disgusting stuff, which is highly contaminated. And as they get even older than that, they become the Shamblers, who are somehow still alive, but just immense and just absolutely revolting. And at this point, it's like the virus is seeking only to replicate. So they are just one walking bag of contamination. So anyway, that's the pleasantness of the infection. But you guys generally don't see very many of them. You guys are living in this settlement of Panra, inland from, where was it again? East River Park. And it's about 200 survivors, you know, in this formerly modern apartment complex. now fortified by a wall of bricks and barbed wire, and it's basically like a pretty solid compound. You guys are, if anything, kind of like a bit of a police force of sorts. You know, you get things done, you go out into the ruins, you do things, but occasionally you need to handle things. And such was the case a while ago when a real epidemic hit, which was, in fact, nothing to do with the virus, but in fact a drug epidemic. And you found that someone had come across some sort of stockpile of ice, and it was just very rapidly becoming out of control. That's when the settlement was actually of larger numbers. It was about 400 people then. And you guys found a few individuals who were actually selling this stuff, and they were actually just, you know, carefully and quietly. You guys felt that, you know, something had to be done, really. So, you know, you just picked them out. By that time, though, there was, you know, a good 100 people hooked on the stuff, and the town was sort of just falling apart from internal friction, you know, just fighting, food was short. It's tough when you're in a small community like that, and your farming is pretty difficult inside New York. And, you know, accusations were flying, and it was really the only way to save the community. But, you know, kicking people out is pretty harsh. And whilst there are other communities around, word kind of spread that these guys were pretty harsh people. And you guys were just part of it, you know. You weren't like necessarily like the absolute leaders of it, but, you know, you were part of it. Though Amagi, which is your character, Pete, he is a bit like the town cop in some ways.
He's a bit like the lieutenant or cop, is that what you said?
He's a bit like the town cop, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so have you seen Deadwood by any chance?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Amagi reminds me of Seth Bullock out of Deadwood. And he's like a sheriff of a lawless place. Kind of like a sheriff. Just kind of like, you're messing up my town, I'm going to beat the hell out of you and kick you out. You know. So there was a guy called Phil Barton who was actually behind the whole thing, and he had a bunch of friends, and, you know, it got a little messy, but, you know, things had to be done. Right, Amagi? Yeah.
Right.
So Larkin is also a guy who goes out into the ruins and does a lot of scavenging, what they call delving. So you'd go into old ruined buildings, and, you know, where no one else wants to go, and go down to the depth, into the depth of the darkness, and find something about it, and then bring it back and sell it for a very good price. And it makes it so that life is a little easier for you on the off times, because, you know, farming doesn't really suit your tendencies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, if you want to become a farmer, there's that option. Now, there was a lot of radiation contamination in the first year around about following the outbreak, because there was a reactor north of the city which went up, went into meltdown, and so the whole Hudson was completely contaminated. Fish was, I mean, there weren't that many fish already in the Hudson, but now there were none. And people got sick and started losing hair and having boils, and there was, you know, radioactive rain. It was really horrendous. That has since passed, but, you know, still the place is fairly sickly. The foliage hasn't really done well ever since. And though it's a few years on, you know, the place looks seedy and sick and not doing that well. I've actually got a fairly good picture of this that I'm going to now see if I can find on my Roll20 picture. Let's see. Here it is. Oh, wow, it actually worked. Thanks, Julian. Oh no, it doesn't work.
There you go.
No, it's not moving on, unfortunately.
There's like 6 of them now.
I can't see any of them.
I see them. You might be on a different. Well, I was gonna say you might be on a different page, but they're probably halfway down the page. They're pretty small.
They're at the top of mine.
Oh, there we are. Okay, thanks. So this is a pretty cool picture of New York, and this would probably be set a little bit further along than what we're at, but you get the idea.
Gotcha.
Yeah, ruined and smashed, and bombed, and it. You know, the place.
That's the Williamsburg Bridge right there.
So what was that? Sorry, it was a little distorted.
That's the Williamsburg Bridge, or is that the Brooklyn Bridge?
It looks like the Brooklyn to me, but you lived there, so you might know better than I do.
I don't know which angle I'm looking at.
I think it might be the one in the background.
Yeah, it's one or the other. It's the two of them.
Radio.
Cool. Okay, so that's where we are.
Yep, that's where you are. And on this day that you guys get up, you've noticed that. Well, in fact, it's been the last few days, last maybe week or so. People have started sneezing and coming down with some sort of virus. And when you guys have gas masks at hand, and the moment someone sneezes around you guys, the instant reaction is just to go for the gas mask. Doors these days have like plastic sheetings in front of them to sort of attempt to stop viruses spreading and stop, you know, wind flow going through that easily. And this day you guys wake up, you find that the town is eerily quiet. You both wake up early, it's around dawn. It's best to wake up that time because, you know, if bandits attack, it's usually around dawn, and if the infected attack, it's usually in the middle of the night. So best to wake up before it's too late. And you find you can hear the coughing from the isolation rooms is really loud, but the rest of the place is very quiet. And these guys haven't gotten that bad yet. You guys have been monitoring them because usually you guys keep them in a secure location until they start going comatose, and then it's, well, wait to see if they're recovering. If not, cap them or just let them die, one or the other. They're not that much threat except for the airborne nature of the disease. The doctor that you guys have said, though, that this is not exactly the same thing. The original virus is called the La Cholera virus because it came from a place called La Cholera. That's where they first noticed it, in Mexico. But this one, you've noticed that it's sort of gentler, sort of. You know, instead of absolutely killing people, you've noticed that in the last week, about 30 people have come down with it. But it seems pretty bad, but it seems like a strain B, like just sort of like a softer version of it, but yet the immunity that you guys have built up over years of being around this stuff also is not that effective against this different strain, which may or may not turn people into these creatures. You're just not sure. In any case, you guys sent out a doctor a little while ago, a fellow that you guys all know, and his name is. Let me just check. Guys.
Dr. Guy.
Dr. Guy. Yeah, we'll call him Dr. Guy. I can't find it here. I very rarely run with notes, so I'm just. So yeah, Dr. Guy was sent out a little while ago to a place called Cloverfield, and supposed to be back this morning. You guys have been waiting, and Amagi, you're doing your regular round along the walls when you see a guy called Jack Whitman come back, and he's got a donkey actually, and the donkey has about as much personality as he does. It tends to bite people and kick things, and and steal food, and in a way, it's quite a character. Jack himself is fighting a very losing battle with baldness. He's just got tufts of Einstein-like hair coming out, and he's only in his 40s, but man, it's like he's about 70 odd. Stress, the infection. He often whinges that it's taken his youth, and he's a leathery old dude who's a guide, and he's coming back to the gates. You see now with his donkey. You're on guard, and there's another guy on guard that who fancies himself a bit of a tough guy. But there aren't that many people that are really that effective. There's just the militia. In case he sees you, and you've got this like cargo box that you use as a gate, and then you've got some wheels on it, and you can roll it out of the way, and it's just very effective. It's very high. Not much cover for you guys when you're walking along it, but in fact, they don't often shoot back.
Okay.
He waves at you. Says, "Is the doc back yet?"
No, we haven't seen him.
Oh, he frowns in his. Oh, I left him at Cloverfield 3 days ago. Supposed to be getting that medication.
Haven't seen him.
Well, looks down at the mule and he goes, "Well, Betsy, you seen him?" She makes like a loud braying noise and.
I'm kind of cold with him in shortened term of words, but I do like the donkey. So when the donkey comes up, I will try to use animal handling just to like. I know it's kind of a wild, not very kind animal, domesticated if you want, but I probably like animals because I can trust animals to be who they appear to be. So
that's right.
I will try to pet the donkey and almost like soothe it a bit.
Yeah. Great. Now, for the sake of anybody watching this, we should go over your character, Amagi, who, if anyone's got the quick start rules, they'll see it. But otherwise, do you want to tell them about Amagi from what you've read, or you want to read it out, or what? How should we do that?
Sure. So, after getting the like radiation, there's a very cool picture of Amagi that he's bald and head, but he almost looks grotesque a little bit. Maybe as in affected by the radiation. I have a picture, but I don't think I can really blow that up enough to help you too much with the glare. But he's got a little bit of that Nosferatu going on as an appearance, but he's not pale. But he's a guy who was a soldier. He was a soldier during the outbreak, so you could imagine that things like martial law were put into effect. A lot of people did things that they didn't want to have to do, or ever saw things they didn't want to have to see. And it says that he took actions that he felt were, short of genocide. Obviously, having seen a lot of horrible things happen to people in general, and he really had a difficult time living with that, and eventually went AWOL as a soldier, finding himself into a small town situation where he actually became sort of a constable because he was a skilled veteran soldier, but maybe his remorse led him to want to try to have a role as more of a commander. But he's probably authoritarian given that he's a soldier. So he probably also didn't like how loosely structured local communities were, and probably found himself in take charge sorts of roles. But the whole thing has made him very callous. He can be very melancholy. I think of him as kind of like a tall, domineering figure, but he doesn't come off too kind to anyone, even though he does truly care. Like, he doesn't want people to die. But he probably also gives off that vibe because he doesn't. It's like he knows people are going to die, and he can't save them all. So he doesn't want to be invested in people. But those that he does trust, he's very loyal to. So that's kind of him in a nutshell. He's got a mix of skills that would match a soldier and kind of a tough guy, and he carries an assault rifle.
Very good. Very good. And Julian, how about we introduce your character as well, Larkin, who is no doubt hanging around as well, having risen well before light first hit.
Larkin is a loner, has a pet dog, goes off, scavenges, is currently suffering from some withdrawal. I'm going to go with morphine because that seems like something he might do.
Yeah.
He's an addict to morphine, and basically he's just a tough guy with a wrench and a shotgun.
Don't forget how he's creepy.
Yeah, he's got an eerie presence. Yeah.
Is that him?
Well, there's also some dark rumors that followed him of some, some terrible things that occurred in some far-off place. No one really wants to ask him about it, though.
Yeah, he's got some skeletons in the closet, and he's starting to look like a skeleton himself. Doesn't look like he's bathed very much. And that's pretty much it. There's not much more to be said. He's not partaking in this conversation right now. In fact, he doesn't like the donkey. He thinks it's too loud. He doesn't even like this town, and he's thinking about getting enough supplies to go off on his own. But he does know that he's waiting for the doctor to get back because he needs some more morphine.
Yeah, that's it. Now, also, remember when Phil Barton was kicked out? He was probably also supplying you with morphine. So when Amagi took it into his own hands, they're like, piss off, dude. You're drugging my town. You probably, I don't know. How would you react to that? You're mad about your little habit. You probably had your own little stockpile at the time, but bit of a problem.
Sorry, I think Julian cut out a bit.
A bit of a lag here.
I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
You sound good right now.
Ah, good. So I was saying that Phil Barton was a guy that was selling drugs to the community, right? And peddling all sorts of variety. And the community, just under the strain, was starting to fall apart. And Amagi took it into his own hands to get rid of this guy. I remember also you've got enemies, Amagi, and
Yeah.
Phil Barton, who you kicked out, would certainly be one of them. But there's so many, you're just like, whatever. Join the club. But the problem was, at the time, is the community was actually dwindling in numbers from about 400 down to what it is now, which is about 200. So it's a bit like a ghost town right now. Though space is still limited, and it's still difficult. But you had to do something about it, right? And being a bit of like judge, jury, and executioner, you took it into your own hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, though, Larkin, that was your supplier. So I'm presuming that you may not have enjoyed that kicking out moment, but still you've had a stockpile, but now, as you say, you're starting to suffer withdrawals because you can't get enough of it. So you're hoping the doc will come back and give you your supply.
I would like to
Sound about
either
right?
figure out where his stash is, or if he carries it on him, I'm going to go find the doctor. Because at this point,
So right now,
I don't
are
care.
you having a look through his?
Yeah, I don't care about him. I just care about his stash.
Fantastic.
Can my dog actually seek that stuff out for me?
Yeah, bro, like, here, Bram, sniff it, go.
Find me some
you know what?
morphine. I'm sure morphine's orderless.
That's true. It probably is. I wonder if you can track it.
Hey, for this game, it smells bad.
Yeah, that's right. It has a bit of a rank odor.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you want to choose to like have a look through his stash, in the middle of the night, it's just before night, Is that what you're going to go for, monsieur?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to check out his stuff. Does he have like a doctor's office?
He does, yeah. He has a surgery, which is half the time still got a few patients in there. But if you're quiet or just tell them to shut up,
Is a stealth of 5 good?
it's pretty good, yeah.
Okay,
Like
then
7
yeah, I guess.
So
Alright.
5's alright. So let's make the first roll of the game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
steal some drugs if I can. The only reason I'm in this town is for that.
nice. I
Let's
love
steal
it.
some drugs, he says.
So why don't you roll
Apparently,
a?
Larkin's a creepy sort of dude, and people don't like him hanging around. So he's gonna take that as a nod to get out of town
On a permanent basis.
and to be with his thoughts and his morphine.
Nice. Well, you get to move around. You do a bit of a cycle, go through town to town. Okay, so why don't you roll a dexterity and stealth check?
Okay, how do I do this?
Roll 2d10.
Did I do it?
Nice. That's 1d10. So that'll be your add your dexterity to that. So your dexterity is 5. Added to 8 is 13. So that's you want to get over 10. So 11 is 1, 12 is 2, 13 is 3. So 3 successes.
Did I roll it?
Yeah, you got 3 successes for that die.
Do I have to? I don't even see where it came up.
It's on the top of your screen.
On the top of your little video screen.
If you click on your own screen.
Oh, I can see it.
Is that weird? Yeah.
That's very
cool,
weird.
eh?
So how many times do I have to roll this?
You need 2 different dice. So you got an 8 for the first one, which is good. So you want to roll, okay, 10 and 2. Okay, so you roll that again. So what you want to do is you add each one to the stat. So that, say with the 10, you add that to your dexterity. So it becomes a 15. And 10 is special because you rolled a 10, you get a +1, so it becomes a 16. So everything over 10, so 11 is 1, 12 is 2, 13 is 3, 14 is 4.
Okay.
Is 5, 16 is 6.
So I add my dex to the 8, and then my dex to the 10?
Well, you just rolled 3 dice, so I'm wondering whether it's 8 and the 10.
I didn't realize how I was supposed to roll.
Okay.
This dice. I'm going to use the dice roller in roll 20 because this thing's confusing.
Okay, sure. Well, we can do that too. Let's have a. You can press clear as well, and that will clear your dice roller.
Are these showing up in roll 20 or they're not?
Not in roll 20.
Oh, okay. I'll do whatever. I'll use the roll 21 from now on though.
Sure. Do you want to make your roll?
So what do I do? After that, so I've got the dex and the. Did I do it wrong?
So it depends what you roll. Was your roll an 8 and a 10? Was that it?
Yeah, 8 and a 10, whatever the first 2 are.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's an incredible roll. So add the 8 to your dexterity, and what do you get?
12, 13. Sorry, that's late.
So that's 3 successes.
Okay, so it's however many over 10 is how many successes it is.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so then how do I make my stealth? Was that my stealth?
Yeah, your 10 adds onto your stealth.
So I add my stealth to that, so 15.
That's correct. Yeah.
+1, so it's 16.
Yep. And then 16. So that's 6, and the 3 for your dexterity. That's 9 total.
Which is huge.
Okay, so I have 9 successes. So what does that mean?
That means like it's virtually flawless. It's
Yeah, you
absolutely
did
perfect.
anything and everything you wanted to do.
Pretty much. 10
Okay.
is pretty perfect. Like 20 is like insane, never before seen accuracy, incredible. 9 is like, wow, I haven't really seen that stealthy. So you send in Bram first, your dog, and then he comes stealthing in and looks at you, gives you the nod. You going after him, just like a stealthy, creepy kind of dude, carefully taking out the bottles with well-practiced precision, putting them back. Somebody shifts in their chair, you look over, raise it, yeah, just thinking about it. Oh wait, no, they're just shifting in their sleep. Go back to having a look through the bottles.
I'll just take whatever I can that's works for drugs then.
Yeah, okay. So you take a whole stash of random bits and pieces, but you don't find any morphine in there.
Okay.
Which is annoying, but there are other painkillers in there.
I'll just take whatever I need.
Okay. So you grab a whole stash. Basically, the little fortune of this town. Well,
I'll leave.
there's a few drugs that are there. You know that probably his best stuff's in his safe that he's got, but whether you want to give
Does
that
he
a
have
go
a
is
safe
another
there?
matter. You think it's in his room? It's not here.
Yeah, I'll go there. I think it'd be very good.
You
I'll
know
leave
that
a
sometimes
couple
when you've been
drugs
here,
next like I'll open up a box of one of the things
yeah.
and put it near one of the people that's sleeping, and kind of sprinkle some pills out on the floor and on the side, like near the pill thing, and kind of tuck the pill box underneath his leg or something like that in the blanket as I leave.
Very nice. He shifts and you just carefully, and then back.
Drifted in there, yeah. Then take everything else.
Just a literal wraith. You can hear the donkey braying outside now, and you feel like a little pang of irritation. Like, oh, I should kill that thing before I go.
I could probably just give it a bunch of pills and quiet it down. I'm not evil. I'm just annoyed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really
so
annoying.
I'll go find his safe. Does he have a safe? Let's see if I can crack that.
You find his room. People are starting to stir. It's starting to come towards dawn, but you think you've got a few minutes. There's some light coming over the horizon, and you go and check his door. His door's open. You go inside and you find his room is extremely messy. It's cramped. It's covered in books and random things, and it stinks. That's nothing new. And after a little bit of looking around, you do find a small safe. Cracking it on it.
Safe.
You could use Rogue, the skill Rogue. You've got 3 on that, so you're not amazing, and you'd have to add Intelligence and Rogue.
That's not very good, but we'll give it a whirl. So 2d10 again?
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what order, right?
None. Well, usually the first one's attribute, the second one's skill.
Okay, so 8 plus Intelligence is 12, and then 2 plus Rogue is 5. So I got 2 successes?
2 successes. So you find his safe is quite unpickable, and it makes a little like click, 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 and you keep listening, and you've got like a little cup, and you're click, 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 ah, click, 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 and you look outside, and Bram is sort of starting to whine a little bit, and you hear.
How heavy is it?
It's pretty heavy. You think?
So I can't take it.
Well, you could try. You can hear some voices coming though.
Alright, I'll leave it.
Okay.
Fine.
You start heading out, feeling a little regretful. Like maybe your departure will have to wait just a little bit.
I'll just take whatever is closest thing then, because I'm just angry that I couldn't get the safe. So I'll just take something, anything.
Okay, you see a book called Grey's Anatomy sitting there, and you snatch that up. It's hardback and good for firewood, and you're stuffing it in your bag. And just as you're walking out the door, you hear a voice directly outside the door, and Bram goes, whines, and starts barking at them, and comes out, ah, ah, and you hear several voices go, whoa, whoa, Bram, whoa, easy, easy. What's going on, boy?
I'll slink out the back way, that way. Or I'll slink out while he's making a distraction then.
Okay, you'd have to open the door. They'd probably see you.
Oh, is there another exit? Or is it just one way in?
Just one way, it's just a room.
Can I hide behind where the door would open?
He does have a window, but it's like 3 stories up, so...
Sure.
Yeah? Is it open?
Yeah, I'll go over the window.
You look down. You can see now the courtyard, and you see the donkey and Jack coming in, and then you ease yourself out, shotgun over the shoulder, getting underneath. Okay, there's a drain pipe. It's pretty rusty.
Let's do it. I got gloves on. We're good to go.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so let's make a check here. Dexterity plus athletics.
Sorry, I'm gonna die before this game starts.
It's gonna be great.
Well, then the whole thing's about your funeral.
Yeah. Alright, so what am I rolling to climb?
Dexterity and athletics. Now, here's something I should let you know as well. Actually, it could be brawn and athletics, because, you know, brawn is strength as well. You know, it takes a lot of strength. Now, here's something that you guys should know as well, is that you've got 2 spiritual attributes called resolve and luck. They're at the very bottom of your attributes. You can spend those temporarily. So you can spend a point of resolve, and you get a bonus of +2/+2 on your attribute and stat that you're using in a roll, or you can spend a point of luck to get a reroll.
Okay, gotcha.
Just in case it's really important, you can go, oh, I'm going to spend resolve on this, yeah. But if you don't say beforehand, you can't use it.
I'm just gonna roll and just hoping I'll fall.
Sounds
with I guess brawn and athletics.
Yeah.
So 10 and 14.
Yep. So that's 4 successes. Okay. So you crawl out. Do you see how that's 4? Does that make sense to you? The roll?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
So
I don't know how many successes I need to succeed, but I understand the math.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in this case, it's a pretty difficult one.
Okay. Well, I fall.
It's really difficult. So you're part way down. You're starting to crawl down this drain pipe, and it's starting to creak, and parts are starting to break off, and then a whole bunch of it just actually starts coming off the wall as you're about 2 stories down. The whole drain pipe just starts breaking off, and you're sort of like you're against the wall, just start like flipping backwards, which could still be really bad. So you've got a couple of options to make. You could like jump and roll, or you could try to grab hold of something else, or whatever. Either case, whatever you choose, I'll tell you what penalties you've got on it.
So I'm 15 feet up?
Yeah, about 15 feet up, yeah.
Well, the ground looks pretty soft. I mean, I see like grass and bushes and shrubbery growing up.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to cut myself on any rusty metal. Is something like a drain?
Right now.
Yeah. I'll jump something.
We'll be fine. Just aim for the bushes.
Yeah, I'll jump to something else.
Now, okay. So roll a dexterity and athletics. You got a penalty of 4. Every point you fail to reach will basically just inflict more damage upon you.
So 11 and 11. So penalty of 4 to each?
You got 2 successes. So,
So
you
7
failed by
and 7.
2.
Okay.
7 and 7?
Gotcha. -4 after the successes. Got it.
Yeah. So you fell by 2. So you land with like this like chest exploding thump, just and something in the bushes wasn't that pleasant for you. Might have been like a broken bit of metal or a bit of glass, or you're not sure what, but it does stab you in the leg a little bit. And
so I missed my jump completely and I just fall.
Well, pretty much, yeah, but not as badly as it could have. Could have been like you fell and got crushed by the pipe, except you just like fell off sideways and land like bang, and then get up like it was nothing. I wasn't here. It's never happened. So you take 2 damage, which is not that bad, all things considered, and you have 14 health. So if you see at the bottom of your character sheet, you've got 3 boxes of health, 4, 5, and 5. So you just took 2 off battered. It starts on the left and proceeds through to the right.
Okay, so now I'm at 2 unbattered. Got it. What do the -1s count for?
On all rolls, once you start taking damage.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, you
Gotcha.
suffer penalties. Yeah. So you're on 12, so 2, 5, 5.
Okay.
It's a pretty heavy thump, and then you stand up and the pipe goes pang, makes this really loud noise, and you get out of the bushes and come face to face with Betsy the donkey, which stares at you.
I'll slap Betsy on the ass
And
and try to
you look,
send her along her way.
yeah, you're sort of staggering along, and you see, looking at you quizzically, and Jack as well, watching you. Jack goes, "Damn, fall like that could damn near kill a man."
Did you say I was there too?
Yeah, you're there. You've been talking to Jack, and he's been telling you that the doctor should have been back soon with their supplies. You know, he thinks that if he had enough supplies from Cloverfield, and you guys like pulled together a whole bunch of resources to go and buy the drugs that he needed, and he was supposed to be back pretty soon. There was a few people going with him. Supposed to be back, in fact, last night, but he's not back yet. Anyway, he was just talking to you and saying like, look, he should be back soon. I mean, like, I'm sure it's nothing.
Does he know where he went?
Yeah, he went to Cloverfield.
Does he know like exactly where he went?
Yeah, I know.
Do I know that he knows where the doctor went?
Yeah, because he took him out there. He guided him.
Oh, I did.
And he's come back.
Oh, he did. Gotcha.
No, not you. Yeah, Jack did.
I'll just grab Jack.
You walk over to him.
Just grab him.
So what did we see of
you heard this like amazing like ripping breaking sound, like this bang clang, and then barking out the window, and you guys watched as he like fell. And he gets up, he walks straight to Jack and grabs him and looks at him.
Yeah, I jog over to him, just kind of tipping to Whitman that like you don't see that every day, and then trying to go help him, but he instantly jumps up and rushes Whitman.
Yep. And Whitman stares at him.
I straight up just walk to him and just grab him and pick him up, basically, like lift him off the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
And hold him close. Where's the doc? You're gonna take me to him.
I just came back.
Larkin, what is going on? You, how did you even fall from up there?
I look at him and then look back. I don't even say anything. I don't know what to say.
Where's his dog? You don't see his dog?
The lack of a response is more of a response.
I'm looking at him and looking back up at the like up, like trying to figure out how or where he could have come from.
Yeah.
It's probably not obvious. Yeah. He came from the building.
Amagi's capable, right? Like, he's a capable guy, known?
Yeah, really tough.
I'll just point at him and be like, you, and the guy in my arms. I'll say, let's go get the doc. Come on. Leave the donkey. And then I just push him, and then I whistle for my dog, and I just start walking.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I
Okay.
look over at Whitman.
Yeah.
So Whitman, do you have any idea where the doc is?
He goes, no, I mean, he should have been back last night. And he's like being dragged. He should have been back last night. A bit like that. And
is Whitman's house nearby? Because we're just gonna walk to it. I'm gonna drag him to it, and I'm gonna get his backpack from it. I just push it in his arms, and we're just gonna go. I see a frozen Oliver.
I do too.
Okay. Is that better?
There we go.
Cool. So I just reduced my bandwidth a bit. So he just came back from being out there, so he's actually all ready to go. So you're like, good, you've got stuff. Good, you've got stuff. You walk over to his room, you grab a few things out of it. Just like pile it in. You'll need some water. You'll need some food. Now get going. And don't break me, donkey.
So do we know what he went to Cloverfield for?
What was that, sorry?
Why did the doctor go to Cloverfield?
To pick up some drugs to treat this strain B of the virus. Okay. That's got about 30 people infected.
And why would you leave the doctor in Cloverfield? Right?
He says there were 3 people with him. I'm just the guide.
How are they going to get back? Did you think about that? Or were you too busy with your donkey? Let's go. I'll take some pills out and I'll shove them in his hands too. And say, I don't know, here, that's my payment. Give him some drugs.
Give him some drugs.
Take me there too. And him. I'll throw him some drugs.
They know the way. It's not that far.
Do I know the way? Do I need him at all? Freeze frame, Oliver.
Oliver, if you want to turn off your camera for a bit and see if that helps. It probably won't do enough, but...
Look at that mug.
So I think I just crashed for a second there.
Okay.
There you go, you're back.
Yeah.
Alright, so do I know the way to get there? Do I even need this guy?
You do know the way to get there, but you don't know which way he told the doc to go there or anything like that. So, I mean, you could leave him.
So we're bringing him. We're bringing this Jack guy.
Okay.
So, so the doctor left. How long should it take for him to get back? Like, he should have been here, like, yesterday, right? But it's not crazy that if he was one more day.
Well, he said, well, maybe he's just staying at Cloverfield a bit longer. I mean, like, you know, that's reasonable. It might have taken a bit of time. I mean, he said he'd be here last night, but it's not, you know, let's not jump to conclusions here.
Yeah,
However, Larkin looks
too
like he
many
is.
sick people.
Larkin's eyes are getting deeply sunken, more deeply sunken by the minute. I don't like your excuses. Okay.
And I was in charge of was I in charge of the wall security at the time?
Yeah, tonight you were. You're, again, effectively the sheriff of the town.
Yeah.
In a way.
So I got to find someone to cover the wall, even if I wanted to leave.
So I'm pushing around the sheriff and this guy.
Yeah. But you're someone of some importance as well. Like, you bring in most of the valuable from the ruins. So even though like everyone thinks you're kind of creepy,
well, I
still
need
like
the doctor to get back. So does the town.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm helping.
Exactly.
Well, Larkin, the dock's important. There aren't many docks left, but I can't leave this wall unguarded, even if you want to go on this immediately.
Then
you do know that there's
I'll
some
just take him.
There's a guy
just
called
take him
Kevin.
and start
Kevin
walking.
Renmeyer. Yeah, you walk up to the wall. There was another guy that was with you before, Amagi, called Kevin Renmeyer, who's, you know, a bit of a hard-ass kind of guy. He thinks he's pretty tough. You don't really think he's like great as a guard, but I mean, like, hell, like, he's still pretty good. He's been on guard heaps of times.
Hmm. All right, I realize that. Right, I'm a little tough. How about so the guide guy? What do I think of him? Can he handle himself? Do I feel like he's just going to get in the way?
Intelligence. You could roll intelligence and deduction to see what you actually know about the guy.
I'm just curious. I might try to move to leave him here. And let's see.
He's my bait.
Hey, don't leave my
You
bait,
said
man.
intelligence and what was the second one? Deduction?
That's right.
I got a 5.
You do. You know that Jack knows how to look after himself pretty well. And he's pretty quick on that mule. You've seen him outrun infected on it more than once. So you think he could be all right. You think he's a bit unnerved by Larkin, and most people are. And so he's a bit scared, but, you know, he's a very good guide. He can get people places that you just don't know, and he has ways of going places that you don't know about. He can usually get to places faster than everybody else.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I nod. I look back. Kevin, you're on the wall.
He goes, "You going somewhere, Marky? Like that guy?"
I am.
the duck all right?
I say I'm not paying that one. He's with you.
I'm gonna
I
go
pushed
find
him.
out.
Okay. Larkin's already pushing the gate open, and Kevin looks down at Larkin and is a bit like about to say something, and then you just like give him the stare, give him the old stare down, and he really just doesn't have much to say after that. And you push Jack through the gate and walk out with Bram taking the lead, sniffing, and then occasionally looking at the mule and growling at it.
Oh, I don't want him to bring his donkey.
Look,
Leave that thing behind.
So,
Or is it
no.
good for hauling stuff?
Yeah, great for hauling stuff.
Fine. Just keep it quiet, or else it's going to be dinner.
Bram seems to agree. Has a bit of like a slobber chops moment. Okay, so Amagi, do you follow with him?
Yeah, but I now view him right now as a wild card. I look at him like I don't trust him right now. So I'm actually I have more of a concerning eye towards him. I just I'm letting it go because he's valuable.
Hmm.
In my head, it's like, okay, well, the doctor's important. I don't know what his deal is, but he's important, so I'll go with him for now.
They're sick people.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm one of them.
Larkin's got me really rattled right now because my character is, he's used to being a commander. He's an authoritarian. He's not happy at all about being tested. So,
Yeah.
right at the moment, justifying to himself that it's only because he's valuable. But he's lost my trust almost immediately. So,
That's right.
It's good. You're probably accurate.
Yeah.
The way I'm playing him, you're definitely accurate.
So it's
care about
almost
him.
like if you were somebody that was further away, you would almost view us as if they were my prisoners, because I'm about 5 feet back with my rifle in my hands, not pointed, but that's kind of what's going on here. So
you're following, and Larkin's a bit like, yeah, whatever. You'll be useful. And then
I put my gas mask on while I'm out there.
Okay, he's ready, man. He's ready. Gas mask on.
Do I have anything for my dog?
A
Any
mask.
sort of filtration for him?
No, I mean generally the virus doesn't affect animals usually.
Okay.
And you think Bram has developed an immunity to it and a bit of a taste for infected, in fact. So,
So he can eat them and he's fine.
Yeah, he can attack him.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a bit vicious. You think that might mean that if you bite somebody, you might infect them. You're just not sure. He's just
Gotcha.
had so much infected flesh in his mouth.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah. So just at dawn, you guys are heading out into the ruins, and you find it. Well, it's like it is always. You guys have been out here plenty of times, but it's quiet. There's weeds. There's wrecked bits, cars in huge numbers stacked up against each other, demolished buildings spelling out rubble, and telegraph wires, telephone wires all across roads, and slowly all disintegrating into nothingness. And you guys are out there for about 2 or 3 hours, heading through the ruins, and you guys should roll an awareness and observation check.
How quickly do I gain back my battered?
You gain it back once per day.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
1 point a day?
No, you get to roll.
Okay.
Usually a brawn and medical check, but if you haven't rested, you just roll brawn. Every success will heal you back a point.
I got 1 success.
You got 1 success, and Julian?
What am I rolling? Awareness and what?
Observation.
So I got none for the first one and 1 for the second one.
Nice. So you guys are about as observant as each other.
We're too busy looking at each other. Well,
Yeah,
he's
I'm
too busy babysitting, and I'm too busy wondering what the hell he's up to.
That's right.
I'm just pushing this guy. I just want him to get us to where we need to go.
Jack's walking quickly. He goes, "This is the way I took them. It's fine. There hasn't been any issues down here. The subway's not down this way. it's really not a problem. You know, it's safe, and really does look a lot like the picture that I'm showing you,
Okay.
and a bit
I
like.
tell him to take us to where he last left him.
He goes, oh, I last left them in Cloverfield. They were just getting up their supplies, and I didn't want to wait, so I headed out first.
Take us to the spot. I want him to go to the exact spot you left him.
All right, sir. Yes, sir. He keeps going, and you notice then Bram has been gone for some time, well up the trail.
Yeah. He does that.
He does that, yeah. And then he comes padding back around the corner, and he's sort of panting, and you can see he looks kind of happy, and he's sort of like moving a little heavily, and
Like he's
he
eating?
stops. He stops in front of you, yeah, and his face is just covered in red, and his paws as well. And he's panting, and he walks up to you and to lick your hand, as he does, and
I'll get my water out and
yeah.
put a water filtration pill into it and give him a little water in my hand.
Okay. He slobs it up, leaving this red, drooling mess behind.
Yeah, I'll basically just wash him off as best I can.
Okay. He washes out a little bit, but it's very sticky, very hard to move. And he turns
And then
around.
I'll look. Good.
Yeah.
I pull down my sleeves. And if I have a pair of gloves, I pull them out and put them on.
Yep, you do. You have a mask as well if you want to put that on, but it does restrict your vision. Larkin's been painting like something out of Star Wars for like the last couple of hours. It's really hot in the mask, and it's like fogging.
Okay, I'll take the mask out for a while and cool it out. And basically, yeah, I'll clean his face off, and I'll look for any pieces of like flesh or clothing or anything in his teeth or in his mouth.
You search through his disgusting mouth, and you do find some clothing there, kind of like some brownish color. I don't know what it is. Just some sort of clothing.
How close are we to Cloverfield?
You're about 2 hours, maybe 3. Jack looks at that and he goes, "Gee, yeah. You sure you want to keep going? And it could be bad news up there."
Did the dog come back from where we're headed?
Yeah.
How much farther did you leave the doctor, Jack?
He was at Cloverfield when I left him.
Yeah, I get that. What corner?
Oh,
give me a corner.
It was in the marketplace, right in the center square. You know where that is, and right beside old Betsy. You know Betsy. You know he has a bit of a taste for young things.
All right, head back. If we don't return, don't send anybody else.
He nods. Yeah. All right.
Is that okay? I look at you and it's like, is that cool?
Yeah, he's of no use to us anyway.
Yes. Yeah. All right. And he sort of gets back on the mule and he goes, "Well, I'll just follow you guys, just from a distance, just to see, okay?"
I look at him. Really? You want to follow us?
Just from a distance.
This is your chance to go home. You're going to squander that?
Yeah, because that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets
I
on the mule.
I look at the dog and then back at him like, you were just scared of that and now you want to come back after us? Like.
So he gets on the mule and he starts wandering away, watching you guys from the back, like really worried, and
I tell him to take the win.
Okay,
Take the win, Jack.
He does.
Yeah, so I like to lurk in. Okay, so we don't know what's up there.
Yeah.
I think we. Why don't we creep up that way? But let's walk to the sides of the roads because something might have followed your dog.
Yeah, no, we need to be stealthy about it.
I'm kind of thinking maybe we walk a little like I have soldier training, so we're pulling Call of Duty here, where it's kind of like walking cover to cover on the side of the road, trying to be a little bit quieter. But I mean, I'm a soldier. I don't know how well Larkin would follow, but I'm like, hey, we'll crisscross, you know. I try
I'll
to
let
direct
him
him to
lead.
do it, but
Yeah, I'll let him lead at this point because I know that he's probably better at doing this than me. But I'm gonna look for tracks and try to track because I'm assuming I have some sort of skill that can do that, like wilderness.
Absolutely. It's fairly difficult to track in New York urban, but there are some bushes and things these days, so you can
Yeah. Well, I'm looking for like blood trails or like three people. They've got to stomp through and break some branches and stuff in a more organized fashion with boot prints and things like that.
yeah,
Is it muddy like this too? Because I see the ground's like wet and muddy.
yeah. There's a lot of overflowed
Okay,
areas, so there's quite
so
a lot
we've
of
got
mud.
mud, and he said they were in the middle of the market. So I'm sure there's a central place that we can go, and once we get there, we'll be able to track.
Absolutely.
Before we do that, can I use animal handling to make my dog heal and be quiet?
Yeah, absolutely. He's
All right.
very big to you, and
What's the attribute for it?
it'd be presence.
Ugh.
Your presence should
Okay.
be better, actually. I realize.
It's pretty terrible.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yep. My presence was a 4, and my animal handling was a 11, so 1.
One success. Yeah. Sometimes actually it's rolls like that. In fact, usually I allow you to roll a third die at the level of the dog himself. See, so in circumstances for your character sheet, you've got
He's
hunting.
6.
Yeah. So roll a
So
third
one
die.
more
Yeah.
of 8. So no good.
And
He's
just
got
so
the
you know,
taste for blood.
roll a 1 is automatically a failure. That one,
Oh,
that
okay.
one will never, even if you got like a 10 on your stat, it'll never succeed. But if you roll a
Gotcha.
1 and don't succeed on the other dice, it's a bungle, so it's a real stuff up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So in any case, it's not a stuff up because you got 1 success. He does sort of heal a bit, but he sort of starts sort of going ahead as well, and he looks at you and he starts growling a little bit like you think.
He's got the taste.
Yeah, there's something going on. In any case, you guys prowl up to this, around this corner, and take a little peek, and you see way down the way, you see some sort of group of figures. Now it's about half a block down, or maybe a block, and you see some sort of hunched figures, and you guys should just roll awareness plus observation to see what you see.
okay. I got 1 success.
I got 1.
Okay. So yeah, they're about maybe 100 meters away. See some hunched figures. Hear Brem growling. They look kind of raggedy. But that's all you can tell.
I like to Larkin. We got walkers. We should probably stay here, watch what they do, and when they move, we can move.
Is there a
I just want
vehicle
to
or
stare at
anything
him to see
nearby?
if he agrees. I don't know.
Margie looks at you. Larkin ponders. You look for a vehicle?
Yeah. Is there any? There's nothing that's operational, right?
No, nothing operational.
Okay.
But there are things that are probably rollable.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna try to find.
Yep.
Is there one that's like rollable that we can send down another street? Like put it neutral and just like get it going and like send it, or is it too crowded of like stuff everywhere?
It's fairly crowded, but also it's fairly flat. So you'd push it and it would go like 10 meters.
Oh, okay. So it
Yeah.
goes like 50. Okay, 10 meters, 30 feet.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just as far as you imagine it's a flat area and you're
Yeah.
going to push the vehicle and it'll just drift a little bit. It might
And
bump
then
into something.
hit modded and stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if it was on a big hill, yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah. I won't do that then. That'll give us away. I'll just look at Imagi and be like, shrug, like, we're going after him, or what are we doing here?
We wait to see if they move. And if and when they move, we move.
Okay. Now you guys have scopes on your rifles, so you can get out your scopes and have a look, and you can see a
Oh,
little
cool, yeah.
bit.
You and Kevin, I've got a shotgun.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot.
I'll use my scope, yeah, because I would definitely want to make sure that they are, infected. But
They are indeed. You look at them and you see like bulbous bits sticking out of their necks, and they're all crouched down, and you see they're having a feed. They're eating something.
how many are there?
Looks like about 5 of them.
Yeah, I looked to Larkin. There's 5. We wait. They'll move eventually.
Are the infected easy to take down, or are they complicated to take down?
Fairly easy. You just got to make sure they're actually dead. They're a bit like guys on drugs. You keep shooting them until they actually drop. So shoot them in the head, shoot them in the spine, or just shoot them in the heart, and they might just drop straight up. A shotgun is great like that. You hit them pretty much anywhere and just kind of fly backwards. But from a distance with with an AK-47, you've got a pretty good chance of killing 5 before they even know who you are, really.
But then if he shoots that gun off, then anything else is going to come out.
That's the only problem, yeah.
Do you have a melee weapon?
And number of bullets.
I'm assuming I have a wrench because the guy's pictured with a wrench.
Yeah, you have a wrench. I mean, you guys can both have a knife, easy, or a wrench, either way. Melee
I was
weapon.
going to say, yeah, my guy probably would have some kind of boot knife or a combat knife.
Yeah.
I'll use the wrench. The wrench is more his style, I'm sure.
Good for bludgeoning skulls.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do we think we could take him out quietly, or do we just want to get past him? Should probably see what they're eating before they finish it, right?
No,
Could
it
be
don't
the
matter.
doc.
Whatever they're eating, they're going to eat it all. There ain't no saving whatever they're eating.
All right. Can we go around him?
Yeah, you could take it.
But you risk them, seeing us, hearing us, chasing us. Right now they don't see us. We wait till they move.
Okay.
Or you could just take a different block. You could go down a different street and take a different block entirely.
I'll wait because that's what he wants. He's the smart one with tactics, so I'll just wait.
Okay.
If
You
I was
guys-
on my own, I would, but I'll wait with him. He's
Okay.
got guns.
So you guys sit down and wait for a while, and it rapidly gets very boring. You guys are both very used to having silence for long periods of time.
I crack open one of the pills and take like 5 or 6 of them.
You feel a nice
I
slow.
just shake them up like this and take them, and then offer him some.
You feel
I'm
it's
like
nice.
biting, crunching them, like like chewing them,
And then
Can I tell what they are? Are
Yeah,
they like painkillers?
they're painkillers.
like Vicodin or something.
Something like that, yes. Or like
Chewing
some
Vicodin.
they're heavy duty painkillers.
Yeah. I shake. I look at them. You just stare like no. And as he's chewing them, so how do you keep that up?
Keep what up?
There can't be that many painkillers just lying around.
Prescription. I take a couple more. And then I say, headaches. I just close it up and put it in my bag.
So maybe that's why Larkin's so good at finding things. He's always looking for some more painkillers.
Yeah.
I look up the sky as I say that, just thinking to myself that everyone's got a vice.
Pretty much.
It fuels the world. Everyone's got their
Sky's
own.
getting dark now, and the clouds are coming over really heavily, and you can feel some spits of rain starting to come in. The infected down there seem to have mostly stopped actually, and they're sort of wandering around a little bit, looking like kind of contented, and some of them are sitting down, scratching themselves. A couple have wandered off. little bit further away. You can't really see them. So there's only about 3 you can see, and they don't seem to be eating so much. One of them seems to be having a snack. And you see now that there are several bodies lying on the ground that they've been chewing into.
Okay. And you said it's getting dark, which is when they really come out, right?
Yeah, well, it's not that dark, but it's just the sky's getting dark. It's starting to get like some thunderheads coming over.
I got
So we're still just in the street, right?
Yeah. You've been watching it
So
for about an hour or so, and they've been munching, and you're watching a bit further, and you see through your scope now, Amagi, as they move, you see that they've actually been munching on this body, and you see this face staring at the sky, which hasn't been eaten yet, and you recognize the face.
Who is it?
It's a guy that you don't know him all that well. You know his name's Johnny, and he's about 17, and was, and he was one of the guys that went out with the doc.
Okay. And now there's other bodies, right? So now I'm going to try to look harder with my scope to identify, if possible, the other bodies.
You see, like one other body quite clearly.
Mm-hmm.
It's wearing like really dark clothing of some sort. You don't recognize it. Looks like he's got a helmet on. You know what that is. But there's not much of that body left, which means that if it's been eaten really thoroughly, that means like quite a lot of them. It takes like 10 or 12 infects to eat a whole person, at least.
I kind of look at the ground, or I'm like one eye forced in this scope, and just in a sort of breathy word, I'm just like, fuck. One of those guys. I look to Larkin as I sit back, back to whatever I was like leaning against. One of those bodies. It's Johnny. Johnny was one of the guys that went with the doc.
didn't know him.
It's not
That's
so
what I
much
said.
about knowing him. It's about if that guy is been eaten by half a dozen or a dozen of these infected, the doc didn't make it much farther.
Well, you got eyes on the dock?
No. There's another guy, but he's all in black. Looks like he's got a motorcycle helmet on. I can't tell who that is. That's not how the
Guessing
doc
that's
would have left.
Not the dock. Motorcycle helmet. Do we know of any gangs or anything around here that?
Yeah, you don't think it's a motorcycle helmet? It looks more like a SWAT helmet.
Yeah, okay.
Are there any Reavers in this area? That's what they're
No.
called, right? Reavers.
Yeah, Reavers. There
Do
are
we
a
know
few.
of any in this area?
You could roll knowledge plus intelligence to see how specific your knowledge is.
Intelligence is not a success, and I'm guessing knowledge is not a success. I have no idea.
Yeah, they're both 4s, so no idea. Yeah, I think Google Plus likes you a lot better. Your first roll was like an 8 and a 10.
Yeah, Roll20 is giving me the better of the average. Well, I have a 60% chance that I'm going to fail every time with
On the-
my 5s, and a 70% chance I'm going to fail with my 4s or lower. So 80% with my 2s. So I'm not very good at doing rolls.
Depends which rolls, I guess, eh?
Any of them. I only have a 50% chance of succeeding with Wilderness. That's it. Or Brawn.
Good chance. You roll you got to roll 5 or better. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've only got a 50% chance with a couple of them. But to get one success, I have to roll at least 60%. Well, I have 40% chance of rolling at least a 1. So
It's true.
I'm not very good at things, which is why I'm just going to keep pushing ahead.
Remember, for important roles, you got resolve. But yeah, this is such as the fate of a new character, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm just trying everything.
Yeah, for sure. So
My character is the persistent soldier here who doesn't put himself in danger until it's the right course of action. So it's only been an hour. You know, I think back to my basic training where I spent 2 days kneeling. You know, so well, I mean that's my character. I'm thinking, you know, I know they do that these days in basic. So he probably, you know, when it hits the 4-hour mark, he's going to pull out a candy bar. So this 1 hour doesn't mean anything to him right now.
Yeah. So with your roll before, you got 1 success on your intelligence line. So you know that there are some gangs of Reapers around here, but you don't know any that wear like SWAT gear, particularly.
Right.
And it doesn't help
I'm
because
I'm gonna assume it's a gang.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't know any gang. That must be a new gang. Or just some guy. I'm looking for a motorcycle now. I'm looking for parts of a motorcycle.
So you
Maybe
guys
I can ride it.
You guys wait and wait, and it starts to rain pretty rapidly, and it buckets down. And as it does, the infected clear the streets, and within moments they've melted away.
Do the water doesn't bother them, does it? Can I make
No,
like
but you know what affects their scent, which is actually one of their stronger senses now.
I was just gonna say that, like maybe roll intelligence wilderness to know what it bothers them. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we know
definitely
that we can travel in the rain better than they can?
Well, probably just as well. But their vision is probably not as good as yours. They rely more on the scent. And hearing is obstructed by the noise of the rain. You guys are more analytical, more able to pick out particular nuances and tracking and so on. So yeah, you probably could travel better.
Okay. I look at Larkin. Mother Nature saves us every time. Let's move.
Let's do it.
Yes, it's now about 9 a.m. and nice morning shower. And you remember the days when it was all made of, you know, like what's that? That's that acid that comes from the sky.
Sulfur?
Sulfuric acid. Yeah, I was thinking sulfuric acid, but that's definitely not right.
Oranges?
No, this tastes sour. You know, sulfuric acid was raining from the sky for some time after that silo went up, or that not the silo, but the reactor went up, and you know, it would burn the skin. And, yeah, this one seems fairly clear. And you guys reach the bodies within a couple minutes, and you can't really see any sign of the infected with the dam. But there are lots of tracks in the mud. You see 2 bodies here. One is Johnny, who has been pretty thoroughly eaten, and this other body in the black with that helmet, who has been really thoroughly eaten. And there's a lot of tracks on the ground. It's really quite crazy. Do you guys start tracking around trying to see what's going on, or what are you trying to look for?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do wilderness myself. As soon as we get up, I want to have an idea of how many, which ways they went, you know?
Absolutely. Roll a wilderness plus awareness.
What was it again?
Wilderness plus
Wilderness.
awareness.
4 successes.
I got 3.
Okay, cool. You guys kind of paint some sort of picture here. There's a whole bunch of brass scattered around from a few different locations. You see Johnny whilst he has been eaten, you also see that he's got a bullet hole in his head. So you're guessing he was eaten after. But this other guy, you're not really sure about. Go take the real dog. You right there, Pete?
Sorry, I just muted it because I was moving.
That's right. Very considerate of you. I think Pete's going to take his dog outside. His real dog. I mean, not Pete. Julian. So you you find a few things in particular, Pete.
I hear you.
No worries. Do you need to take a break in a minute?
No, I'm okay. I just wanted to sit down.
No worries. No, we took ages to get started, so.
I was trying to do it so it wouldn't interrupt anybody. Sorry.
That's right. No worries, man. Yeah, so what you can tell pretty rapidly is that it seems like Johnny got shot. Maybe some other people got shot. And there were some people, you think, maybe guys like this guy in the dark clothing, who's effectively SWAT armor, SWAT gear. He's got like vests and so on, which has been clawed open, like the infected have ripped it off him. But it's you see he's actually suffered a couple of bullet strikes that have gone through. And so whether the infected attacked after or during some sort of conflict, you're not sure, but you think something definitely went down here. And you can see that there were quite a number of infected by the tracks. And there is some dragged... What was that?
More than a dozen?
Yeah, you think so. And a whole bunch of their tracks move on down the road a little way. And then you see a grate which lies open.
Okay. The grate, so I'm assuming that's where the guys came from.
It's possible.
Okay.
You see some drag marks there, like heels in the mud kind of drag marks, as though other bodies got dragged there.
Oh, gotcha. So I gotcha. Okay.
So what you kind of piece together is it seems a bit like maybe there was an ambush or some sort of attack. Some people got gunned down. It's possible they were dragging bodies back to this grate, and then the infected attacked, or the infected might have come after. You're just not sure.
Gotcha. What can I salvage out of the security SWAT sort of gear?
There's a bulletproof vest, though you have a better one.
Okay.
I believe. Maggie, does he have a bulletproof vest? Oh no, he doesn't. So yeah, you could use that. It won't protect you against assault rifles very well, which you think is what hit this, or a hunting rifle or something.
Gotcha.
But he's got no weapons on him or anything.
Okay. Well, I'll take the vest. Is the helmet salvageable or?
Yeah, helmet's good.
Okay. It doesn't block my vision too much, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's just like a little skull cap, sort of.
Cool.
Got a little lobster tail bit at the back that protects the back of your head a little bit. So
yeah, I'll definitely grab that too.
Yeah, it's good. It makes you feel comfortable. You whack it on. You whack on the bulletproof vest. It's got a couple of big holes in it like that, but you know it'll still probably stop a pistol.
Yeah.
You hope. There's a lot of blood on it, by the way. There's a shitload of blood. It's just gore, and so if you're putting it on, it's going to slime you in gore. That being said, also the infected have been chewing into it, so you may want to wash it first, actually.
Yeah. Well, luckily it's raining, so I'll take advantage of that. Basically, using extra cloth or spare clothing or whatever I have to kind of just wipe it off with the rain that's coming down.
Yep. And wash it in a puddle.
But I'm doing it quietly because I'm doing this. I don't know what Larkin's doing, but I'm kind of doing this as he's doing whatever. Really keeping an eye around because they were just here, you know.
A couple minutes ago, and then just disappeared.
Yeah.
You know they can just come out of nowhere, and the area around you is pretty close. So if they were to suddenly attack, you don't like your chances all that much.
Yeah.
But what you can see, and what Larkin also picks out with his role, is that there's this. It seems like something is dragged back to this grate.
Yeah. So you know, when Larkin gets back, or even if you just want to move on with him, I will go investigate the grate to see, you know, at least get an idea of how I don't think that the infected could use the grate, but I could be. I mean, they could forcibly use it if there's like a train of them. I think, but I don't know. That's just my mentality of it. So.
Hey guys,
Hey, man.
we have a dangerous neighborhood these days, so I have to go out with the dog now.
Oh.
Dangerous neighborhood.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear it, man.
Yeah, shootings and stuff. So
Really?
I don't let her go out at night with the dog. Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, so Larkin comes back from tracking. He has no knowledge of what you've discovered, I guess.
Yeah.
When you've been there.
Well, what you guys discover together is basically that you guys think there was some sort of attack. Johnny and maybe somebody else was shot down. You're just not sure. You think bodies were dragged back to this grate and were probably interrupted by infected part way. Probably why a couple of them were munched.
So bad guys brought these, or another group brought these bodies here, and then the infected came.
You think this is probably actually the doctors group, the docs group, probably got ambushed halfway. So they were really close, coming back to Panra, and somebody shot them, or shot some of them anyway. You're just not sure how many. And then they've dragged them back. Great.
Oh, they dragged them back to this point. So I don't see the doctor's body. At least I can't identify it.
No.
Where's my dog? Can Bram smell like the doctor stuff that I have, the book that I have?
Yeah, you got the book. It is raining at the moment, so probably when it stops you can do it.
Oh wait, yeah, the rain's probably gonna wash it all away though. Yeah, it's hard to track in rain. Alright, yeah.
But you can see big like gouges through the mud, like of heels being dragged back.
Dragged. So we'll go that way, I guess, right? I'll track that way.
For sure.
If it's cool with our CO.
Yeah,
So-
you know, I'm curious about the grate, but I mean, can we tell if people? I guess we got to check it. I left him before we leave. We got to check the grate. There could be more people. Maybe the doc. Maybe he dove in there. Maybe they came out of it and got ambushed. I don't know.
Yeah. Sure. Check the grate.
We'll give it a quick look and then we'll follow the footprints because that's at least
Our
material.
only other lead.
Yeah. So I go to open the grate if I can quietly.
Mm-hmm. You ease it open, and it does make a bit of noise, but not too much, a bit of a clank.
Yeah.
And you look down, and you see at the bottom of the steps a whole bunch of disturbed mud, but that's about it.
Okay.
So someone's in the sewers?
Yeah.
Somebody came up
Come
out
to
of the
the dock.
sewers.
You think they
All
came up or they go down?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, they could have done either. But you can definitely
I
see
get
drag marks, which you think probably led back to the grate rather than away from it. Because
Is the underside of the grate muddy? Like on the edges, fingers? Or is the underside clean on the edges?
The underside
Because
is
a muddy coming up, you'd have to push it up. Coming down, but if you came up from the bottom, you'd probably be muddy because the ground's muddy.
Can I make it an investigation roll to see if I can tell people came in or out of this?
roll investigation and awareness.
All right.
You can roll as well if you like, Mr. Larkin.
There's a 30% chance.
Mr. Mathematical. Let's go with this.
I do.
I got 2 successes.
I should probably bump up the abilities of Larkin.
What's the No, we're both about the same. His and mine are both similar. What am I doing? Awareness and investigation, or
That's
intelligence?
correct. Awareness.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shoot.
I said I did observation. What was it? Awareness, observation.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's 3.
investigation.
Because your awareness is 5 plus the 8, so that's 13.
Yeah. I got a
2.
I got 3 successes, not 2.
I think there was 3 actually.
Oh, three. Yeah, you're right.
You both get 3. You both look at each other and in unison say, "Great's muddy," or something like that.
Yeah, but can we tell if people came out and then back in, or if people just
You
went
think they
in?
came out and then went back in.
Okay. So it's probably not the dock, or the dock may have gotten dragged in by a gang of underground motorcycle
Helmet-wearing dudes. Yeah, it sounds
helmet-wearing
like
guys. But I don't see the motorcycle helmet.
Actually, I'm holding it.
wearing it.
Holy.
I took a bulletproof vest and slapped it on, and I'm holding the helmet. I'm probably still washing. Well, I put it
Still
on by
washing
now.
it all out though. The bulletproof vest had a big hole in the middle of it from like a hunting rifle round, which went straight through both sides of the bulletproof vest. But he still says it'll be good against small arms, so he's washing it off from all the gore from the infected munching all around it.
Yeah. Can we, before we go down, Baldy, a Maggie, a Magi, I'll just call you I. Before we go down, let's check this drag marks. Maybe there's bullet casings or something, blood we can find.
Oliver, do I think that the infected could open this grate and follow them? I mean, right now, in my character's head, he's thinking that a couple guys popped out, got attacked, the rest of them shut the door, and saved themselves.
Yeah, that seems likely to you. You don't think the infected could unless they were really smart.
Okay.
You've heard some stories of really smart infected who can, a lot of infected can open doors and climb ladders and things. They can all climb pretty well, but opening a grate takes a bit more intelligence.
It's heavy too.
Yeah. So you don't know about that. It doesn't seem likely, but if there was a really smart one, maybe.
Sure. My character's not an expert.
I'm a
would
lone
guess.
wolf, so I'll just go look at the tracks.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. That's what I said. I just go look.
Amagi has a little moment of as Larkin goes and checks it. Now you find that there are bullet casings scattered at a couple of different points around the perimeter, and it looks like they're mostly 9mm rounds.
Pistol rounds.
But there's a lot of them.
Uzi.
There's like
Uzi.
could be an Uzi, could be some sort of submachine gun. Seems like a bunch of submachine guns.
Do I know that these guys had those? Our guys?
Your guys did not know. They had hunting rifles.
It's a whole lot of bullets for 3 guys. They're a terrible shot. I just say that to myself. Like I talk to the Bram all the time. I talk to the dog.
Yeah.
I just have a conversation with him.
Bram looks at you and has a little nice.
And then it's my investigation process. I talk to the dog. I talk it out. And then I'll check the tracks. I see 2 drag marks or 3?
You see 2 sets of drag marks. Well, in fact,
4 heels.
There were... No, you see 3, in fact.
Oh, do I see blood on the drag marks too? Like they're bleeding out while they were dragging? Like pools of blood down the right? In each, all 3?
Hard to tell because they kind of overcross each other.
Yeah.
With your 3, you can't really tell.
Where do they start?
But you think one of them, like 2 of them look like just straight drag marks, and they're kind of overcrossing, but another one looks kind of all scattered and kind of half dragging.
Oh, like somebody's alive.
Yeah, you think so.
Does the doctor wear medical scrubs or like identifying equipment?
Not on him when he's like out on patrol.
But people know he's the doctor.
Some people do, yeah. People in your town know, and in Cloverfield know.
Gotcha. Is it still raining?
It's easing up at the moment. Just
All right, I'll
coming
pull the
out
book
drizzle.
out and have the dog sniff and check the tracks.
He sniffs it, and he's following the one. He follows and he sniffs it, and he goes up to the grate and he looks down, and he looks at you. He starts panting. He sits. which you know means that's a positive.
Okay, so where do those ones end?
They go right into the
'Cause
grate.
okay, because he went straight to the grate. Okay, I just I go back to the grate. Doc's in here. That's what I say back to Imagi. Doc's in here.
He, I assume he means in the grate.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys look down. It's just dark down there.
Do I have anything in my survival kit? Like, probably don't have batteries or a flashlight, but
I do.
probably need to make a torch.
I got a flashlight.
Oh, do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys can have there's like wind up ones. You can
Oh,
have.
cool. Yeah.
In Amagi, you got a flashlight in your kit.
Alright. Cool.
So yeah, for sure. Just gonna strap them onto your guns. Just tape them up. Wind them. And then a little light. They're not very powerful, but they're alright. Yeah, that's it.
Do we have any reason to believe that the footprints down here could be infected?
Well, the grate was kind of closed, so you don't think so. But
It's the motorcycle gang.
Yeah, right.
Well, I guess we need a new doctor.
Did you find him?
Yeah, he's taken.
What do you mean he's taken?
He was taken down the grate by that motorcycle gang.
Well, unfortunately, there's not more doctors to find. We got to get our doctor.
Other villages have doctors. I say good luck. And I start packing up my gear. And I pull out, if I have a map or something of like the rest of the city and other villages, I've got like X's all over it. Just like places I've been that don't go back to. Just like, this one, I think there's a doctor there.
yeah, he points one. It's like all the way across the city.
Yeah. I just fold it back up and like look at the time of day. Like, I can make some good distance. I can walk 10 blocks.
Yeah.
You think that's going to be easier? Walking into some other civilization, just grabbing their doctor? He's going to say, yeah, please take me. And the people are going to be like, yeah, we don't need that guy.
I'm not bringing him back to you. I'll just stay there.
Oh.
Yeah, Bram starts to look around and he raises his tail. He starts to growl.
It's time to go.
He's growling when we are in the tunnel or on top of it.
We're like outside the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
We gotta go now.
Well, I look to Larkin. Well, suit yourself. I start going in the grate.
Okay. You crawl down.
Yeah.
I quick look around. Do I have a safer spot to go to, or is the grate the safest spot?
Well, I mean, it's a catch-22. It's probably safer right now. Whether it's safer later is another question.
I whistle really softly. I get him to jump up on me.
Yeah.
And like grab him and then like hold him while I go down.
Okay. You crawl down with some
With
you've done this maneuver 100 times. You drop him down, shotgun out, light on, wind it a little bit.
I used to ride the subways in New York City with my dog's bottom feet on my belt and his top feet on my shoulder. And he'd just sit on my shoulder and ride. And I'd just walk around and have one arm on him and then like have my backpack.
Is that for real? You used to do that?
Yeah, for real.
That
his
is
bottom
so
feet would go on my belt and he'd just push his feet on my belt and he'd just hold on and put his top paws here. I could let go and he'd hold on. Yeah.
What a smart dog.
He was terrified of the subway, so he just clung on.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's something you definitely find in New York.
Yeah. So I
never really
could
thought about
definitely do
that.
this.
Yeah, if you're in a city,
It's tough to
that's
bring your dog
crazy. I
on
never
subway.
thought about that.
You can bring him if you put
if
him
you
in
got
the
to take it
bag.
to the
but-
vet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, he's a big dog, though. Bram is like a 60-kilo dog.
Yeah, Brand's a lot bigger, but also Larkin's pretty big, so
He's a strong guy. So
yeah.
it's like carrying another person down, but he can do it. And
Yeah, he's
you close the grate behind you, I'm assuming, and you get down to the bottom. Lights illuminate a short passage, well, a short stretch of the passage rather, and then you
How
continue
heavy is the
down.
water down here? It just rained.
It's pretty high actually. Now that you mention that, yeah,
Ugh,
it's
water.
about knee height, so nearly above Bram's head.
I want to look back up out of the grain. Are those infected back?
You look back up, you don't see them.
Okay.
You can see the
I'm
bodies
just
still
kind
there.
of. I want to look around and see what Bram was growling about.
Sure. You look around and you quickly see some figures approaching down the street, which look like infected.
Okay, then I'll just go down.
Okay. You lower it back down in. It's claustrophobic down here now. This is like the subways are often used by all sorts of different people for different purposes, right? But they are also used as a highway for the infected. So you guys don't like being down here all that much. But that being said, when they're all upstairs, you know, where else are you going to go? Yeah, it's about knee height at the moment. It's sludgy. It's not really so much sewerage as just wastewater at the moment, because there's really not many sewers left, but there's still that rancid kind of pong to it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't work
Does
out
it
and the
seem-
dock's dead. I'm going to Bryant Park. That's what I say.
I just look over at him. Glad you made it.
There's lots
Can
of,
I tell
lots of Jewish doctors in Uptown.
Yeah.
They won't miss
Which can we tell which way to go? Does one way have more traffic than the other, or is it just not obvious at all?
It's just one tunnel at the moment. It just keeps going.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Do we have a compass between us?
Sure. Yeah. You guys have a compass.
Okay.
Yeah. So you check it out. You can see the direction you're going. You're heading effectively kind of north.
I start complaining along the way.
Yep.
I don't like
You're
this.
you're waiting, and you haven't gone all that far before you reach a bit of an intersection, and you see something floating ahead of you.
Okay, I get to the wall.
Okay. Something floating in the water.
Does anybody have chalk or anything? Can we like mark the wall? Like with an arrow of which way we came in?
Sure. I mean, you can either mark it with. Why don't you roll a luck check? Roll a d10. See if you got chalk. Otherwise, you could just scratch it with a knife or wrench or something.
Yeah, I got a wrench. I'm sure I could like do something. My luck. Am I spending luck?
No, you just roll a luck check. Your luck's 4.
2.
Yeah. So you have chalk for sure. Got a good
Alright,
big
so-
bat.
So I'm putting arrows to the direction we want to go in if we have to go back.
Okay.
Just follow the arrow.
Yep. So it's very, very tight confines. Sloshing, boots wet. Bram's sort of like wading like up to about here. His head's up. He hates it. He absolutely hates
How's
it.
Kevin doing?
Kevin?
Yeah, our third guy.
Now he's guarding the gate at the town.
Oh, we left him?
Yeah, we left him in charge of the gate because when you found me, I was guarding the gate.
Oh, I thought he was with us this whole time.
Oh,
Where's Kevin?
that's right. The painkillers have very clearly been working.
Okay, so Larkin says, "Where's Kevin?"
He has to have it all explained to him. He looks at you quizzically and thinks, "Did you just eat Kevin while I was away?" I mean, jeez.
Did we leave him up there? I lost him.
I look at Larkin. Kevin
Shake.
never came with us, man.
Okay, so it's just the two of us and my dog. Okay, that's better.
I try to keep my light focused on whatever's floating, trying to get an idea without having, I just start walking towards it slowly.
Yep. You can only see like a bit of it, and you, as you get a little bit closer, you hear like this noise, like the sloshing bit of a crunching noise too, actually, now that you think about it.
I do. I try to get him to come back to me.
Bram
Yeah.
is...
No, I'm trying to keep him from going forward too. He's probably still on my side because he doesn't like the water.
Because of the water, yeah, that would totally make sense. So
I'll
you
keep
got
him
this
held up.
bulky dog and a shotgun with a torch.
I just have my torch out. I don't have the shotgun out yet. I probably have the wrench like on my side if I need to, or there's the flashlight in the hand with the dog and then the wrench. I don't want to make any noise with the shotgun here. Go
Makes
deaf
sense.
in this tunnel.
The guy's hands are free, right?
Which guy's hands are free?
The floater. The floater doesn't have any like obstruction that's holding him under the water, right? That we can see.
No, you can see his legs and a bit of his like up to about his belt. That's all you can see. It's kind of around a bit of a corner.
I tell him no, like don't do that. Is there any exposed pipes or anything running along the wall?
Yeah, throw some.
I'm gonna tap one to see if it's hollow.
Yeah, that's all.
I use my wrench and I'll take a piece like a long pipe off.
Okay, so you undo a whole bit and just pull a section out. It makes a loud slosh noise. I guess Amagi has to help you a bit.
Yeah, and then we can use that to poke the thing.
Okay. So you get like a 10-foot section of steel pipe.
We'll flip them that way.
And it pushes the leg away, and then you see it sort of like move and get dragged back. And you hear this.
Like something's eating it under the water?
Yeah. You see a hand reaching out now. There's something sitting there. Something having a snack on this thing. You can see a fluid floating out from this thing as well, and you realize.
Can we push it to the other side, and like continue on because it's kind of busy munching?
Yeah.
Or is it gonna notice us?
You think it'll probably notice.
I don't know what these zombies work.
It's like coming up to a bit of an intersection. So you're going straight up, and there's a bit of an intersection area, and it's a bit wide, so you can't quite see all the way along it. You can only see like through and then a little part.
But
it's off to one side.
Can I just try to push him farther away, like this floater? Just get him as far away as possible?
Yeah. So you start shoving it.
Well, like quiet, like sneakily. Okay. Like sneaky. I'm going to like get it to push down the river, basically, so that this thing goes with it.
Okay. Roll a dexterity plus athletics.
It's probably the dock. I'm probably just pushing the dock farther away. Unless you have any better ideas, Imaji.
My plan is I'm going to pull my knife out and I'm about to go stab whatever's around the corner that's eating it.
3. And what's the other roll?
Was athletics.
Just 3. 3 successes.
So you shove it, and it does drift a little bit, and the thing, whatever it was, comes into view as it sort of chases it and grabs it again. And you see its back, and it is just an absolutely massive, bloated thing. If you go to page 33, you'll see a picture of it on the sample.
So do I know not to try to stab that in the back of the head?
Back of the head is probably the best place to stab something like that.
Well,
you stab it,
don't stab it in the body.
Explode onto you. This thing is sort of like waddles and grabs the body still, whilst it's still being poked, and sort of pulls it back, and just starts and sort of like tearing at it again.
As soon as it comes inside, I just go to stab it in the back of the head.
So you wade up towards it, and it hasn't turned yet, it's still just munching, but its back is really big, and it's sort of bent over, so you can't really reach its head, if you know what I mean. Like if it's like this, you've got to get up past it and get somehow over the top.
We could poke it with a pole.
You could. You could poke it with a pole. Get it to stand up and turn around. So it could be stabbed politely.
Yeah. Can I just burst him from this far away, from 10 feet away, or is that uncouth?
Well, yeah, you might have spraying stuff.
I see that one of my negative attributes is that I don't have much tact.
Yep.
So
You're just like,
10 feet away, poking this thing to burst it would kill it, right?
yeah, it might also spray you with highly infectious goop. That's all.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was a. It was covered in infectious goop. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each one of those boils can burst and just spray goop. But if you
All
really
right.
hit it really hard, its belly might explode, and then yeah. But you
Do
guys
I
can,
think I could pin it
yeah,
with my? All right. I'll I don't know what the dog would have to swim on its own, right?
yeah.
All right. Can I put him in like a higher like a little place?
Not really. It's just a tunnel, so it's just
There's no like little alcove piping spots.
really
Could I
not.
put him up on like some pipes?
No, they're not that big. They're only about that big.
All right. I guess he's swimming. I'll just let him drift, and then I'll use both hands and try to pin this thing so he can stab it.
Okay. So you
I don't know how combat works.
slam it in the back, and it sort of makes this noise and sort of starts to turn, and you start trying to slam it into the wall. Roll a brawn plus, I guess, athletics. Might as well.
Brawn is a 17-18, and athletics is a no success. So 18, or 8. I'm sorry, 8.
Successes. You slam it into the wall. One of its like sacks does explode, just sort of sprays some goop out, but it doesn't reach you guys. But it hits the wall. It slams right back. You shove it there in place, and it's flailing and grabbing at this thing and trying to like bite it and rip it and smash it at the same time. So it's very difficult, but you've sort of slammed it into its skin, and you're putting all your weight into it. It is really close. Even with a 10-foot pole, that feels really close.
Okay.
Amagi, you're right beside him. It's making this and just sort of like struggling like this. And you go in for a melee strike to the head.
Yeah, I should have used resolve, but I forgot. I got.
I'll let you use it retroactively. It's all right.
Okay, thank you. Resolve or luck, I don't know which one matters, but.
You used resolve to get a bonus. Luck's used to reroll.
Is it brawn melee?
Yep.
Okay. I got 9, 10, 11. I got 1 and I got 4.
You got 4. Wow, that's good, man. You stab it directly in the skull. Goosh! Now, normally there's a penalty to strike, but because it's been pinned, there's no penalty. And your knife adds +1, so you do 5 to it. A normal human has about 8 health, so that's pretty massive. Even so, you've sort of like stabbed it and like gotten it like in the forehead, and it's sort of skated off, gone through like one of its eyes and down its jaw, and it hasn't pierced its skull, but it has caused a whole lot of blood and nastiness. And it would be crippling for a human, and it shrieks like "Ah!" like this, and just tries to tear forward and grab you, even despite being pinned. It's flailing, and one of its arms sweeps out and slams you right in the side of the head as you're stabbing at it. And you can roll an absorb check for your helmet. So roll 2d10 and add 4 for each.
Got 2 successes.
You absorb 2. Okay, that's good. It did 4, so it slams you in the side of the head. You take 2 after you absorb, and sort of careened into the pole. So the pole's right beside you. You hit, you bang, clink, like that. Just retreat out of range for a second, whilst Larkin still's holding it in place. Its flesh is actually starting to sort of disintegrate around the pole a bit, around its shoulder, and you see like bits of like ligaments and stuff sort of eating away. It's very waterlogged. What do you guys do? Just keep holding it there, Larkin?
I'm just going to keep holding it at bay because I don't want him to get hurt, and I want to keep it far enough away from my dog and from him.
Yep.
I'm kind of holding on to my dog's like collar, I guess. I wouldn't wear a collar. I'll just kind of hold on to him.
Yep.
I probably took a split splash in the water, but you know, get back up to my feet and try. You know,
Yeah.
it's not pretty, but I'm trying to like get up quick, adjust my helmet, and stab him again.
Yeah. Okay. So you go right
We're
back
in
in.
like, are we in waist high water?
No, about knee height.
Okay.
Yeah. So you sort of take a splash. It has sort of scratched you a little bit, which is a bit worrying. But you go back in again. And
I'll be
wait
more
for it.
worried about it as soon as the fight's over.
Yeah, exactly. You come back in again and go for the stab. Now what you can choose to do if you want is do a multi-action. You can try to stab it and jump back out of the way before it swings at you. Or you can just go in for the stab and hopefully kill it before it gets to strike back.
Yeah, I'll use this second resolve, and I'll just go for the kill. Two-handed on my knife, just all in. You know,
Yep.
more of like I can get what footing I can, hoping that I have, as quickly as possible, jump to my feet and lunge at it.
Yeah, lunge back in, right up under the neck. Ah,
I saw how deep the knife went in the first time. I'm like, I must have just barely missed it. I know I just need a little bit more.
Yeah, that's it, man. Okay, roll the strike again. Brawn and melee. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
this one, awesome. So, and I used resolve, so it was, oh shit, I forgot about that. 8 successes in the first one, and then 13 successes.
Actually, 9 successes on the first one. Yep.
Yeah, and the second one's 5, so 14.
14, and then +1, and +2 for the head. So you actually got 17 damage. First go. Ah, God! It just goes right in. And it's just stuck there with your knife sticking out of its skull, like so deeply embedded that even the hilt went through the skull.
And then, of course, I have this angered face of just craziness as
Yeah.
I then shoving the knife, realizing I can't shove it anymore, then just start trying to twist it and then yanking it out.
And a whole chunk of the skull comes out attached to your knife hilt.
Yeah. And the whole time I'm just sad.
Take it back. This thing. And it sort of slowly slides back down into the goop. And starts floating with its gigantic belly and pus sacs. And sort of disgusting ooze starts coming out from it.
I'll push it down the river.
Mm-hmm.
I start laughing.
Larkin looks at you with like that cool, calm, psycho expression like, I thought you were past all this, man.
I just flip over the other body.
Yeah. You see it's a guy called Vince. Someone, again, you guys recognize. Larkin, you thought that he was a blowhard. He was about 30, thought he was really cool. Now he's dead.
Does he have anything in his pockets
No.
of use?
No, he doesn't. Though you can see that he has not been eaten all that much. Around his neck has been eaten and his shoulder, which is where you think this thing was going for him. But you think what it actually did for him is probably about the 4 bullet holes in his chest. That's horribly what got rid of him.
Do I think he's going to come back as a monster?
No, because they're
Does that
actually
happen?
alive. They don't rise.
Okay.
They're not actually
Gotcha.
dead. They're actually, yeah. Give me 1 sec, guys. Let's have a short break because I got to make a call, and
Yep.
we can have a little intermission, go to the loo, and come back for refreshed. That's it. See you in 5.
Sounds good.
Cool, guys.